What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks bringing you some more Fusion Cup practice battles. In this video, I have a lot of battles in which I don't always necessarily get a good lead scenario, and I kind of just want to talk about this Fusion Cup and how important it is to win the secondary matchup if you lose the lead. Now, this Fusion Cup, again, I've been saying, feels very hard countery, feels very rock paper scissory, and what that means is I feel like there's a lot of less flexible options within this cup. So it's very important that if you lose the lead, whatever Pokemon you bring in as your safe switch, you need to have somewhat of a guarantee that you're going to be able to win that matchup, or at least come out with a significant shield advantage. And for me, a lot of the times, this Pokemon that I put in that safe switch spot is Shiftry. Talked about this a little bit in my tournament recap video the other day, but Shiftry with an energy advantage is really great. Obviously, you're going to get wrecked by the Charmers, but by the time they switch in, you have already gotten at least 2 Snarls off. And with Snarl's energy generation, it's just crazy insane. You can almost guarantee that you're going to be able to throw 2 Leaf Blades onto that Charmer. Another hard wall to you are the Flyers. And again, because of the energy advantage you're going to start that switch-in matchup with, you should be able to land 1, if not 2 foul plays before you really are going to be stuck against the sky attack that they're most likely going to throw at you. And a lot of times, I'm okay with committing a shield in that secondary matchup, sometimes even 2 shields, if I know that my lead was extremely bad and was countered really hard. So let's kind of just work through some of these matches, and I'm just going to talk about what my thought process was with some of these lines. I don't win all of these games. Again, I'm not a robot. I lose a lot, but I think there's some good things to learn through some of these matches that I do here. So Alolan Marowak against Noctowl, not a great matchup at all. I switch in my Shiftry and I'm able to snarl down that Noctowl, which is good for me. These first matches are against Kairai 0724. I'm going to lead Alolan Marowak. I have Shiftry in the safe switch spot, and I think I put in Bronzong in the 3rd spot there. So, horrible lead for me. I need to get out of here right away. And I actually use Bronzong as my safe switch here instead of Shiftry, because the Noctowl lead, it would not make any sense to bring in my Shiftry there. We get a little bit of lag. Now, Bronzong is also one of those Pokemon that does pretty decent with an energy advantage. Again, you're going to be hard-walled by Shiftry. You really need to look out for that. It's going to resist all of your charge moves. But against Whiscash, these confusions are really chunking away. And if your opponent gets too greedy and over-farms, you're going to be able to land 2 Psyshocks. I actually commit a shield here, because we CMP tied on this charge move. I want to get this Psyshock off to at least threaten his shield or win out this scenario. Now, these confusions are really chunking away. I tried to make a fast swap into my Shiftry there to catch the Mud Bomb, but the Mud Bomb goes through. That's okay with me, because now this Whiscash is in farm range. Now, remember, he had a Noctowl lead, and both of these Pokemon I have are weak to Noctowl, Shiftry, and Alolan Marowak. Seems like a losing scenario for me. But I know this is going to be a Mud Bomb. I don't commit a shield here. He switches back in the Noctowl, and because I was able to farm up energy off that Whiscash, I'm just going to throw straight foul plays here. It does a really good amount of damage to Noctowl. Hoping to get a shield here with this Leaf Blade. I do not get the shield, but I switch in my Alolan Marowak to tank this Sky Attack. Still not going to commit my last shield. I'm really hoping that Shiftry is going to carry me to victory here. Just going for Fire Spins on this Noctowl. Barely able to Fire Spin it down before it throws a Sky Attack. Very close. In comes a Whiscash. 1 Fire Spin takes it out. What is in the back? It's a Frostlass. And in this even shield scenario, this is good game anyways, but I'm going to go for the shield bait. I get the shield bait, and now I can easily throw a Shadow Ball here. The safer option probably would have been to just double Shadow Ball, especially with the energy that I had farmed down, but went for the bait anyways, and it worked out. So I lost the lead there, and I even brought in 2 Pokemon that were weak to Noctowl, and I was able to take that matchup. I'm running the same line of 3. I got 2 Pokemon weak to Noctowl, but I'm going to try to lead Bronzong this time. He makes a great adaptation here. I definitely wore out my welcome with this team of 3 because I ran the same team of 3 all 3 matches here just to see how much I could try to win back the lead scenario if I have a bad lead. Going straight for the foul play, I get the shield there. Could have even gone for the Leaf Blade bait there. People like to shield their Charizard. Charizard is very squishy. And because of all this energy I farmed up, I'm able to throw back-to-back foul plays without him sneaking a Fire Spin in between. He lets that foul play go through. I go for a Leaf Blade here because this Charizard is within Leaf Blade range. And he gets... I get the second shield, which is really huge for me. Now, let's see what I bring in. I bring in my Alolan Marowak. I'm anticipating this being a Blast Burn, but I don't want to commit my last shield just yet. Still does a lot of damage. I'm up a shield. I have Bronzong in the back. Out comes Shiftry. This is not good at all, because both of these Pokemon I brought in are weak to Shiftry. I do commit a shield here. I want to get a couple more Fire Spins off, and then I throw the Shadow Ball. Both of these moves, Shadow Ball and Bone Club, would be resisted. Barely able to take out the Shiftry. He's got a Whiscash in the back, which is also going to be good against Alolan Marowak and Bronzong. So he made a great adaptation to his team, and he's going to be able to comfortably take this. But look at Bronzong in the Zero Shield matchup against this Whiscash. This is definitely something to take note of. Just the raw damage that Confusion and Psyshock does. And Bronzong is decently tanky. So even though normally you look at this matchup and you're like, geez, this is not good at all. In the Zero Shield scenario, it's not as bad as you think. You're still going to lose. But that Whiscash has a little bit of health remaining. If I would have been able to get off another Psyshock, definitely would have been better. But great matches there, Kairai. Now we got some games against Fonzie17. He is rocking double anti-flyer with that Probopass and Bronzong. Little laggy start here. Very laggy start. But I have my Poliwrath on his Shiftry, which is a very good scenario for me. Now here you can just go straight Dynamic Punch if you can successfully QSA and comfortably win out this matchup. Poliwrath can even tank a Leaf Blade as well. I don't hit the Excellent on the Dynamic Punch. It's shielded anyways. Here comes the second Dynamic Punch. I know he's very close to Leaf Blade, but he does not want to commit both shields. The Shiftry goes down. What comes in? It is a Charmer, so I need to get out of there super fast. He makes an amazing switch into Swampert. I am able to get this Shadow Ball off before he can throw the Hydro Cannon. He's probably QSAing me right here. He correctly shields it, and here comes the Hydro Cannon. Great play on his part. I'm going to totally let this go. I'm really glad I got that Shadow Ball off. Poliwrath is going to be a good response to Swampert, and especially since I know that he has a Alolan Ninetales, I need to get this matchup going on. I need to get the Poliwrath on the Swampert, because I cannot have my Poliwrath matched up against the Ninetales. Shields are down, so I'm going for Dynamic Punch. It's going to hit for very strong neutral damage. Really great. I just want this Swampert to dump its energy into my Poliwrath, so Poliwrath served this purpose. I'm going to bring in my Noctowl and farm down the rest of this energy here. This cup, it really seems like an energy advantage is better than a health advantage, at least with Pokemon like Shiftry especially. And Weavile or Honchkrow, if you guys have ever used those Pokemon in this cup, you know how much damage those Pokemon can do when they get an energy advantage. Very glassy, but all the moves that they throw are amazing. Same with Frostlass, Avalanche, and Shadow Ball. Really great moves. able to take this game here. In comes the Swampert, but doesn't have enough health or energy to throw a charge move, so I'm able to take that first match. Let's see, going with a Whiscash lead here, Shiftry, and Noctowl. Probopass gave me a lot of problems in my most recent tournament, so I do need to account for that. I'm assuming that it is a Rock Throw Probopass. In comes that Ninetales. So he switch locked my Shiftry against the Ninetales. But again, I'm okay with this scenario because Shiftry, with all this energy, I'm going to be able to throw 2 Leaf Blades. A Charm does not go through, and that is really big for me. I have literally a sliver of health yet left, but I put on a lot of shield pressure. I am now up a shield, and I can bring in Bronzong to tank all this energy that the Ninetales farmed. So this is a really great scenario to be in. Oftentimes when people bring in their Charmers, they're able to fully farm down whatever you switched in, like a Poliwrath or a Shiftry. And then that has them thinking like, oh great, I can dump all this energy into something. But then you bring in a hard wall like Bronzong or Probopass, and it totally negates all that energy they farmed in. So you can kind of plan for that accordingly. Especially when I use Shiftry as a switch-in, I fully anticipate that thing getting wrecked by a Flyer or a Charmer. But if you have Bronzong as support, it's going to catch all those charge moves. Man, Fonzie made an amazing switch into Shiftry here. Catches the Psyshock. And I have 2 things weak to Shiftry here, so this is really bad. And because he made that switch, I'm barely going to be too slow to get to this Blizzard. That's just how fast Shiftry is. I'm up a shield. But because he made that switch and I believe got 1 Snarl through while I was throwing that Psyshock, beats me to the Leaf Blade. There's no way I can take this match now. Shiftry is a solid wall to Bronzong. I need to look into the Heavy Slam simulations of Bronzong or the Flash Cannon simulations because those at least hit Shiftry for neutral. But I would imagine that if you don't run Bulldoze, you give up some very important matchups against the other tanks. Alright, bringing Poliwrath, Noctowl, and Bronzong in here. I need to account for his double tanks. I get a horrible lead here again. Lost the lead. Now, I do not switch in my Bronzong because I know that's the hardest check to this Ninetales. And so, normally, whenever I switch out, my opponent is going to make a switch as well. But Fonzie stays in here, which is not what I wanted to have happen at all. I wanted him to switch out because then I knew that I still had my Bronzong in the back that could handle this Ninetales. But this leads me to believe that he really wants this Ninetales gone, or he really wants my Noctowl gone. So he must have brought in Shiftry. He must have Shiftry in the back. But now I bring in my Poliwrath. This is some very aggressive farming on my end. Again, I eat like 3 charms there, but I'm okay with that because I have energy now and I'm up a shield. Out comes Shiftry. So now whatever he has in the back absolutely must be weak to Poliwrath. So, because Shiftry is not the best response to Poliwrath, especially when I have an energy advantage. It's Swampert in the back. Poliwrath has to handle both of these things now. Let's see if he can do it. Boom, Dynamic Punch goes through. Going straight for another Dynamic Punch again because I have all this energy stored up. But I do need to maintain the Poliwrath Shiftry matchup. So let's see. I commit my last shield is only a Hydro Cannon. Farm up a little bit extra here. I know this is going to be another Hydro Cannon, and I am okay with tanking this. And now, farm up even more. I believe the Swampert is barely in Ice Punch range now, and I wanted enough energy that I could just throw a Dynamic Punch when that Shiftry comes in. There it goes. Mudshot is a faster animation move than Snarl. So unless that Shiftry had a Leaf Blade stored up, I knew I was going to be okay because I was 1 Mudshot away. So I'm able to take that match. Lost the lead, but still took the match. Good games there, Fonzie. These last 3 battles are against one of my patrons, Good Little Squid. Again, thank you for the support, Good Little Squid. I have a horrible lead. Got to get out of there. I'm using Shift Tree as my safe switch. Because if you look at his team, he doesn't have a Charmer. And he doesn't have Heracross or Breloom or Toxicroak. You guys have been talking about all those other fighting types. You just really don't see them in this meta that much. Someone mentioned Alolan Muck as a pretty hard check to Shift Tree as well, but I have not been seeing as many Alolan Mucks. Yeah, so since his Venusaur and his Noctowl are really good responses, but they're not Charmers, I am still comfortable with having Shift Tree as a switch-in. And look, I'm down a shield, but I won this secondary matchup. It's so important when you lose the lead in a really hard counter scenario to win that secondary matchup. And he brought 2 counters to Shift Tree here, but let's see how much work Shift Tree can do. I switch in my Bronzong now. He switches in his Whiscash. Great play on his part. This is pretty much a sacrificial Bronzong right here, and I'm just going to try to get as much confusion damage off as possible. If I draw a shield, that is also amazing. But confusion is a great move, especially since Bronzong gets stab on it. He lets that go through. He still has 2 shields. He farmed up a good amount of energy. I actually commit a shield here, which might have been a mistake, but I want him to dump all of his energy into this Bronzong. So even though I'm not able to get this Psyshock, I'm okay with this. Because I don't want this Whiscash to be anywhere near a Blizzard. But I believe I lose this match. He brings the Noctowl back in, and it had just enough energy to get to the Sky Attack before I could get to the foul play. Great play on his part. And Alolan Marowak is totally walled by Noctowl, plus this Noctowl has 2 shields. So unless unless good little Squid gets some ridiculous lag, there's no way that I'm winning this matchup. So very difficult there. Good little Squid made some great plays. I made the mistake of switching out after I won that secondary matchup. I just didn't want to get farmed down a whole bunch, but great plays there. Let's see how I adapt in the second match. Going with a Noctowl lead, then Poliwrath, and then it looked like Shift Tree in the back. Man, when you speed up these videos, things go by so fast. It's easy to miss some things. You guys in the comments always correct me when I miss something. I have Noctowl against Whiscash. This is a positive matchup for me. And check out how this matchup turns out. This is pretty insane. And I'm not sure if this is totally because my Noctowl has really good IVs, or maybe his Whiscash doesn't have the best IVs. But I end up out of this matchup in a very positive scenario. I let the Blizzard go through. I'm up a shield here. I'm still nowhere near Mud Bomb range. He's going to have to land 2 Mud Bombs. Noctowl is so amazing in the fact that it can tank a Blizzard. And I think I can get to another Sky Attack here. I'm still not within another Mud Bomb range. Look at this. I'm still not going to commit a shield. And I survive with literally a sliver of health. He gets another Mud Shot through, but I get this Sky Attack. So he's either going to have to double shield or lose this lead matchup. He ends up double shielding. So I can bring either Poliwrath or Shift Tree, and they are going to have a good time farming this thing down. I go for Poliwrath. I am fully committing to a fast move farm down here. I'm okay with being hit with all these Mud Bombs. I value energy over health in these scenarios. Here comes another Mud Bomb. I am going to shield this though. I'm still up a shield. Fine by me. I have a Poliwrath with so much energy now. What does he have in the back? What's he going to bring out? Brings out a Alolan Marowak. Good answer to Poliwrath. I'm surprised his Alolan Marowak is staying in right here because Shift Tree is definitely a good response to Alolan Marowak. I let the Shadow Ball through. I'm anticipating a switch out. He stays in. So this makes me think that he has Whiscash in the back. I get another Mud Shot through. It's Venusaur in the back. Very interesting. I have farmed so much energy in this Poliwrath. Let's see if I can make something happen here. First Ice Punch goes through. Second Ice Punch is going through here. 2 Ice Punches do not take out Venusaur, but the subsequent Mudshot damage will, because it is hitting for neutral because of Venusaur's poison subtyping. Down goes the Venusaur, and 1 Mudshot will take out that Alolan Marowak. It just falls on the ground. That's kind of a funny animation. Poliwrath went on a tear right there. If you look at his team, Poliwrath only has 2 favorable matchups. It's only good against his Cloyster and his Whiscash, but this is one example, and I need to get braver about doing this in a tournament. This is one example where sometimes your opponent will have, you know, a team that counters one of your Pokemon really hard, so they will anticipate that you will not bring it in, and then they might not account for it very well. They might not bring in the hardest checks to that Pokemon because they think that they have enough bench pressure. Now, this takes a lot of guts to be able to bring in a Pokemon that on paper does not have the best matchups, but that is sometimes what has won me matchups in tournaments. Is I've gone against people that will sometimes run double grass, and just purely by that, they don't account for Whiscash because they feel like since they have double grass, there's no way that anyone would bring a Mudboy in. And you know, when anyone is running like a double of something, double flyer, double Mudboy, double grass, they're trying to send a psychological message. So you can either take the bait and not bring in that particular Pokemon that they're trying to avoid, or you can be very bold and extremely risky and bring in that Pokemon that's going to be hard countered. It works out sometimes. Extremely risky though, but it can definitely catch your opponent off guard. My Shiftry was able to farm down that Noctowl. Again, I value energy over health. I'm up a shield. My Shiftry is loaded. In comes Venusaur, which is a counter to Shiftry. Not when Shiftry is loaded with energy like this, though. There goes 1 foul play. I stack back-to-back foul plays. He does not sneak in a Vine Whip in between. Really great for me. He doesn't get an energy advantage. Down goes the Venusaur. What's in the back? It's a Whiscash. This thing is going to get one-shotted. Great games there, good little squid. If you guys want to be on my friends list and battle with me and be featured in these videos, make sure to head on over to www.patreon.com/fpsticks. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know how you come back from scenarios when you lose the lead. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.